Hello again, and welcome back to Else One's Garage channel. I'm Ben, and in our previous video, which was our intro video, we kind of talked about some topics that we're going to be going over, and one of those topics was the coronavirus. I know everybody's tired of hearing about it, but I think it's important for you to know what's happening in Japan with coronavirus. So let's just jump right into it. So, what is happening in Japan with coronavirus? Well, we're a little bit behind America in the flow. Things have just now started to get bad. We had the Diamond Princess cruise ship that had like 500 people or so on it that were sick and everything like that. So that was the first encounter, but it never really got bad until about a month after the US had gotten pretty bad. So, what does that matter for now? Well, in the car world, it means a lot because for coronavirus, a lot of people are just staying home. They're not buying from auctions. And if you want to talk about Japan auctions, which is USS auction is one of the biggest auctions in Japan, everyone in the world buys from this auction, right? So right now, the cars are fairly good priced because there's not as many people shopping. People are saving their money. People are not going to the auctions themselves to buy for customers, things like that. So, and people around the world are not shopping. A lot of places are locked down, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is same thing with Yahoo Auction. If you're buying things off Yahoo Auction, you can get some really great deals right now because there's just not a lot of people buying. A lot of people are nervous now. In the U.S., maybe when you get your tax back for the year, or maybe your government stimulus, maybe you are going to buy car parts. I would think you should be a little more responsible with your money, but hey, it's your money. So anyway, so on Yahoo Auction right now, there are pretty good deals. Now, how does that affect the way containers work? Are containers being able to be shipped out? Do they still come into the US or other countries? Well, that's also a different question because for export, we haven't seen any big changes here in Japan. Now, keep in mind, things are just now getting bad here, and a lot of schools have been closed down for about a month and a half or 2 months already. But now a lot of businesses are starting to be closed down too. The government really doesn't have the power to tell private industry to close their doors. They can only suggest it, and in Japanese culture, Japanese companies have obliged to the government and have closed most of their businesses. Now, their restaurants are kind of basically still open, although they ask you to be aware of your surrounding. And your public places, places that the government owns, are usually closed now. Every once in a while, there'll be a park that's open, but normally the Riverside access has been shut down, and some of your other public places, gyms are shut down that are owned by the government, and basketball courts, anything like that. Um, some other things, as far as containers going into America, and I've had a lot of questions about people saying, "Hey, is there any effect by the coronavirus on your containers?" Well, in my case, no. When it arrives to America, it's still same business as usual. We get it at our shop, everything's happening like that, and for me, it does affect my business, but selling online is completely different than some other people here sell. If you'll notice, the cars behind me are all going to Africa. Well, there's a little bit of a stockpile now because the way they do their system is once the container arrives in their country, same thing with Dubai, Africa, a lot of those places like that, it's a standing auction. People are standing around waiting for the doors to open and everybody's buying, buying, buying. Well, it's lockdown. Everybody's staying home, or the people that would normally be buying have went home to be with their family or whatever their case may be, and they're really not allowed to be out buying. So containers are starting to kind of back up. A lot of containers to Dubai have been stopped because there are just too many of them coming in with no people purchasing, right? So that could be a big problem. Eventually, it will be let up and it won't be a problem anymore. And they're still making containers, but just at a slower pace. And hopefully they'll be able to be eased on that. But as far as containers like mine are concerned, yeah, we haven't had really any problem with that, and the schedule has just kept on going normally. Luckily, coronavirus doesn't survive inside of a container for a month or 2 months, luckily. And the drivers here for the trucks and the container company and the brokers and all that, they haven't had any problem with booking containers and things like that. So that's lucky. That's lucky. So that's just a little bit about what's going on here. They can't really force citizens to lock down in Japan either. It's against their constitution. So we're kind of lucky there, but we do keep our social distancing and everything like that. Now, you may have seen a lot of people here in Japan wear masks, and I've had this question so many times, like, what's wrong with the air here? Why are people wearing masks? Well, I don't know about everywhere else, but in Japan, people normally wear masks because they have a sickness. Maybe they don't want to cough and get it on somebody else. It's out of courtesy for everyone else, which I think is nice. They do wear masks for other reasons. Maybe if there's a blemish, especially for girls, if there's a blemish on their face, or if sometimes you'll see the convenience store worker, if they're a young kid, they don't want their friends to see them working at the convenience store, so they wear a mask so somebody can't really recognize them as easily. A lot of different reasons for wearing masks, you know. Of course, right now, I can say that almost everyone in Japan is wearing a mask. I myself do too sometimes. I don't enjoy it, I don't like it, but you know, go along, get along, and kind of, you know, do my part to not spread any kind of germs and virus. And Japanese people are pretty clean in general, so that's good. And everybody washes their hands a lot, and you know, those kind of things. Keeping wipes in your car and sanitary, you know, things like that. But the masks are definitely a good thing here, and it's pretty common here anyway during flu season, things like that. So they've just kind of ramped that up a little bit more than they normally do. But other than that, hopefully Japan will be able to pull through it. We don't really have a super huge problem like US does right now, but you never know how it's going to be and where it's going to go from there. So I hope this has helped you understand about the coronavirus in Japan, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Ben out.